Here we're here at the Education, Environment, and Sustainability Committee meeting on Wednesday, November 20th. Can I have a roll call, please?
And just as a reminder to all who are in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Ms. Simon.
Here.
Stevens. Ms. Stevens is absent at the moment. Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Shrine.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. There's a quorum. Also like the record to reflect that Councilwoman Turner is in attendance.
So thank you very much. We have minutes for, public comment?
No, Madam Chair,
Okay.
no one is signed in.
We have actually 2 months of minutes, one from September 18th, one from October 30th. Can I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's done. We're going to change the order of the agenda because Keith Benjamin from the city of South Euclid is under the weather and could not come down here. So we're going to Zoom him in and begin with Resolution 2024-0401.
Resolution number 2024-0401, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the City of South Euclid for the purpose of the deer sterilization pilot program from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin, from being, and Keith is also a mayor of Bracknell, but for today, he's here on behalf of the city of South Euclid. Can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Okay.
Thank you, County Council members, and thank you, members, our Chairwoman Sunny Simon, for letting me zoom in. It's like old times from the pandemic era today. The first program we've applied for is for year 4 of the South Euclid Deer Sterilization Pilot Program. As many of you know, South Euclid is the site of an innovative program to study non-lethal deer population control. And the city is once again seeking $50,000 in funding so that we can participate in year 4 of this unique 5-year study to determine the feasibility of managing the white-tailed deer population through fertility control. We have been working with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, as well as our research consultant for wildlife population, White Buffalo, Inc., for the last 3 years, and hopefully for year 4, to sterilize and tag female deer in January and February of 2025. There's a team of volunteers who also participate in the program. We have found that in the last several years, there has been a lot of data that we're still evaluating on the success of the deer sterilization program, which also has been combined with some lethal culling as well by ODNR. Before the pilot project started in 2020, we had 49 traffic-related deer accidents. In 2021, also before the pilot project began, we had 67 accidents involving deer. In 2022, which was the first year of the pilot program, we had 61. In 2023, we had 18. And the latest data from the beginning of this year is that we had 13 accident-related deaths. So we're still working on this pilot program and study, and we hope to have County Council's consideration for ARPA support for year 4 of this study as well. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you so much for that explanation. And I want to see first if there's any questions from the committee. Councilman Schron.
No questions, but my compliments to you, Mr. Benjamin, on this program. I think it's going to be a model program that we hope will be picked up throughout the county and then hopefully picked up on a national basis too. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. As just a side note, that this was a pilot program starting out with ODNR's permission to have a pilot, but now after year 3, ODNR has determined that this could become a management tool for all cities now that want to do this, because prior to this pilot in Ohio, there was no way to implement a sterilization program, but because of the study that we funded, now from the state. This is open as a management tool for cities that want to participate in this process, because it's, there's not a one-size-fit-all when it comes to managing deer, and this is borne out with the number 60% reduction in traffic accidents in the city, in great part, I would argue, because of this pilot. So,
Well, and Madam Chairwoman, it's your leadership that's shown to bring this forward, so congratulations to you also.
thank you. All right, so any questions? This will be heard, obviously, 3 times. It's an ARPA item, so this would just go into if I would ask right now for a motion to send this out of committee to the next council for second
So
reading.
move to send out for second reading for the next council meeting, not for second reading approval, but regular second reading.
Second. Okay, Councilwoman Conwell, second. All in favor? Aye, thank you. Okay, thanks for that one. Next item on South Euclid, please.
Resolution number 2024-0402, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the City of South Euclid for the purpose of the Dog Park at Quarry Park North project from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Okay, Mr. Benjamin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The city of South Euclid is seeking a modest sum of dollars from ARPA funds, $10,000, to enhance the South Euclid Dog Park at Quarry Park North as part of our broader park beautification initiatives. Specifically, the project focuses on adding some new agility equipment and installing a commemorative tribute to honor a resident, Paul Pistello, who was a dedicated animal rights activist who worked tirelessly to rescue abused and neglected animals from harmful environments. Tragically, Mr. Pistello's life was cut short in an automobile accident a year ago, and we wish to recognize his enduring legacy and commitment to the animal welfare with this memorial at our dog park. The South Euclid Dog Park was established in 2007. Once again, an example of a project under the leadership of then City Councilwoman Sunny Simon. The dog park is a valued, open to the public off-leash dog park. It's about 20,000 square feet, and it's equipped with dedicated spaces for both large and small dog parks, large and small dogs. The park is not only accessible to residents from South Euclid, but is indeed a real regional asset, attracting visitors from Cleveland Heights, our neighbors just across the street, Cleveland, East Cleveland, Euclid, Richmond Heights, and from all over Northeast Ohio. This was the second dog park in Northeast Ohio, the first on the east side. The first dog park was in Lakewood, and that opened in 2004, and this dog park opened in 2007. The park has been invaluable to helping provide recreational assets and amenities for our residents and people who reside in our region, and is also has been completely, almost completely restored as a result of the generosity of County Council and Cuyahoga County through a CDSG grant last year. And so with this $10,000, we believe we can complete the beautification efforts and have a great dog park for years to come.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Okay, I don't think there's any questions, but if there are, no? Okay. So can I have a motion to move this out of committee?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Okay, this will go on next agenda for second reading. Thank you, Keith Benjamin, and for your assistance in this. Okay.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Okay. Next, well, we'll go back to 2024-0396 regarding ARPA allocation to Murtis Taylor.
Resolution number 2024-0396, awarding a total sum not to exceed $250,000 to the Murtis Taylor Human Services System for the Students of Promise Leadership Academy from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Good afternoon. Good to see everyone on this, looks like a Kansas afternoon instead of Cleveland with the weather shaping up as it is. But Madam Chair, distinguished committee members, I appreciate this opportunity to come before you and present this project.
Can we have your name?
My name,
For the
I'm
record.
sorry to be presumptuous, is Bob Ivory. Thank you. So I appreciate the opportunity to come and present this request. And I will briefly kind of lay a foundation and the scope of this project. And then I will hopefully share the remainder of my time with a good friend and former longtime colleague, Nancy Pepler, who is the supervisor for school partnerships in Cleveland Heights, University Heights School District, as well as Pastor Darian Shepard in the audience, who is senior pastor of the Amani Temple Ministries, who has gracefully embraced in this project in a collaboration. Lavelle Custer, who's the CEO and the president of Murtis Taylor, was unable to attend today. He had a scheduling conflict. However, sends his support as is reflected in the ARPA application. So I will be speaking on behalf of Murtis Taylor. So as you know, Students of Promise has been a servant organization in Cuyahoga County for the past 10 years. Proactive to kids, proactive to families, and pro-community, in helping to close the achievement gap and increasing the high school graduation rate, along with helping our young people reach their full potential. For the past 10 years, mainly by the support received by Cuyahoga County Council and Cuyahoga County government, and I do thank you for your bold leadership with this initiative. And this has also been keeping of the vision of the late Senator C.J. Prentice, who passed away this year, who first introduced this model in 2007 when it was the governor's Closing the Achievement Gap initiative, where I served as a project manager. However, over the years, we have grown in scope, meaning Students of Promise. We've expanded our focus to meet the changing and challenging holistic needs of our students and families, and we are happy to be here today to respond to a growing need, which is to address the travesty of homelessness of students and families, in particular to communities that we serve. Homelessness among women and children is a growing crisis in Ohio, particularly in the Cleveland Heights and University Heights School District. The district currently identifies at least 140 students, impacting 91 families that have been identified as homeless. I've also had a conversation with Superintendent Donald Jolly in Warrensville Heights, who also has expressed his need to find solutions for the population of students identified with homelessness in Warrensville City Schools as well. African American students and Latino students are already disproportionately underserved, and they face greater challenges and compounded with the trauma of housing instability. Homeless students often struggle with lower achievement rates, higher absenteeism, increased behavioral issues, all which contributes to widening the achievement gap. So if this is left unaddressed, these families are at risk for deeper poverty, long-term consequences for students and their families and the community as a whole. So, in partnership with Amani Temple Ministries, Murtis Taylor Human Service Systems, and other stakeholders and community organizations, Students of Promise seeks to address this growing need for transitional living and supportive services for women and children that are homeless. In this case, responding directly in respects to the 10-year partnership in the Cleveland Heights and the Warrensville Heights School District through the creation of the Ophelia Myers Residential Transitional Living and Shelter Care Facility. This is located on the campus of Amani Temple Ministries in Cleveland Heights, which is a leading non-denominational faith-based organization in Greater Cleveland. The facility is located on the scenic grounds of Amani Temple Ministries and will provide temporary transitional living and emergency shelter care for women and children, allowing for stays up to 90 to 120 days. So during their residency, families will benefit from individualized case management, access to community resources, mentoring, academic, social, and emotional programming for students, and supportive services designed to address their unique needs. The primary goal is to stabilize families, equip them with the skills and resources necessary for independent living, and secure permanent housing through case management and a continuum of services of care provided by Students of Promise and its community partners, while providing safe, structured, nurturing learning environments. Without this intervention, the number of homeless students already identified will likely continue to grow, thus exacerbating the educational challenges already faced by these underserved students. Our proposal outlines solutions, one family at a time, that not only address the immediate housing crisis, but to promote long-term academic, personal success for students and their families. Every family within the transitional living facility will be assigned a case manager who will work with the family to develop individual service plans. The plan will include goals for housing placement, employment, education, and personal wellness and their well-being. Additionally, case managers will connect residents to external resources, including legal aid, mental health services, financial counseling, job training, referrals to support groups when needed. Our goal is to ensure that each family is equipped with the resources and the support needed to transition into permanent housing and achieve long-term stability and self-sufficiency. So the funds that we're seeking will tremendously help us renovate the dormitories of the Myers Manor facility and the living quarters, which is already in progress. There's renovations taking place as we speak. But it will help us to continue the facility's upgrades. In addition, purchase furnishings, fixtures, ancillary accessories to ensure a safe, secure, and quality living environment for each family served. Also, providing 24-hour staffing and operational and programmatic needs will be effectively met in part with the successful award of such funds. We also look to address the unfortunate crisis of homelessness, not only in Cleveland Heights, but as I mentioned, speaking with Dr. Jolly, there is a significant population in the Warrensville. And Warrensville and Cleveland Heights are two main districts that Students of Promise has served for the past 10 years. So if I could bring Nancy Pepler forward.
Mr. Ivory, I
Yes.
first want to ask
Sure,
the
sure.
committee, that was a lot of
Okay.
information
Sure.
off the top. So is there anybody on the committee that has questions right now before we move into anything else? Okay, I think, okay, this is fine then.
Okay, I can start over if you want me to. I would like to bring Nancy Pepler, and like I say, we have, our journey began some 36 years ago. We worked at Belfair, and we worked in an independent living group home, so it's so kind of full circle that our journey have passed again after 36 years of working together. We were in our early teens back then.
Very funny. Good afternoon. Thank you, Chairperson Simon and council members, for listening to our presentation and to the needs that Bob has outlined. He did share that in our district, Cleveland Heights University Heights has a student population of just under 5,000 students, and currently we do have about 140 students that are experiencing homelessness, including 13 at the high school who are completely independent on their own, not living with family. So I manage our district's partnerships with groups like Metro Health or Students of Promise or Belfair or any of the other groups that provide services and supports to our students. And I reached out to Bob some time ago to say this was a need I had. Did he have some ideas for me to connect with some other organizations, and he brought me into these conversations. So I just wanted to share that I'm very thankful that you're considering this request, and while it's not a project of the CHUH schools, we are in full support. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Any questions? I have a question. Are we done with the presentation now?
I was going to bring up Pastor Shepherd as well, and then that's it.
Okay.
Everyone, I am Pastor Shepherd. I just wanted to give my support and to say that there's a woman at Imani Temple who is a wonderful lady, and she's been wanting to and working in outreach and just being a help to the community for many years. And so for the last 20 years, she has given away food and blankets and clothes and things of that nature just to be a help to the community. And so when we formed this collaboration with Bob Ivory, we saw that we have and we share in so many different of our core values. And so it's not just a collaboration, but we do believe in his efforts and what he is doing. And so the Students of Promise is a wonderful organization, and Imani has just opened our doors to just be able to further the dream of Mrs. Myers and just being a help to the community at large. And so we just wanted to come by and give our full support and open our campus in any way we can just to be a help to this community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I have a question, I guess, I'm not sure who can answer, about the permitting for having a homeless shelter in the city of Cleveland Heights. Has that been issued? Has that been gone through the zoning and everything that's needed?
Yes, thank you for your question. We have not gone through that process because that would be kind of presumptuous to that we would be able to formally move and open the facility. The facility has already served as I believe Nora was there a few years ago. It was a facility for women in recovery. So I've also reached out to Mayor Seren. He's actually going to be at the facility tomorrow. We have a huge stakeholder meeting tomorrow at 3 o'clock. He's given his support and allowing us to, not only present tomorrow, however, he is helping us with that process at the city level. I did check that there is no state. I've operated group homes myself. I actually started in folks of Cleveland some 20 years ago, so I know that whole state licensure process, but there is no licensure for shelter care. But as far as the city and the coding and that process, we are looking to enter to that round of regulations.
Okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
But you're asking for money from county council to provide significant money to something that's not been permitted yet through the city of Cleveland Heights. And I'm concerned about that. So I know there's a sponsor here, but, sitting in this seat, this is something that's usually already when people come before us, they're ready to go. And right now, we'll be giving money to something that's not necessarily going to happen. It might not. It's contingent on a lot of paperwork and approval coming from the city. I don't know if this is premature at this point. I'm not sure why we're doing this now without that in place. We don't have anything in place. Councilman Tron.
Madam Chair, my suggestion would be for you to hold in committee and put the burden on Bob to get that piece done.
Yeah.
And then you come back to us or that body down in the future when you've got your paperwork and authorization, because this body, I think, would support it, assuming you have
Absolutely.
you have the proper actions and taken place with the city of Cleveland Heights. But if without that, it's money that could be going for some other purpose, and rather than
That's
be
very
putting into somebody's general fund.
That's very fair. Like I say, Mayor Seren will be at the facility tomorrow.
We heard that,
And
but
so-
but nothing's been issued. I mean, he's looking at the facility, and I appreciate that, but this isn't, I'm not even sure, the sponsor can speak to why it's here now, but if this doesn't make sense, really, it's the cart before the horse. We probably should have had something come before us saying you're ready to go, and then, we'll take the next step. But I'll let the sponsor speak to this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm not opposed to holding it in committee to allow that process to play out. So I'd have no problem with it being held in committee.
Appreciate
So
it.
we're going to hold this in committee. And then I guess just let us know when you go through that process and come back through the sponsor, and we'll be happy to bring it back into committee and consider the request.
Excellent.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much for
Thank
everybody
you.
coming in. Sorry about that.
No problem. Mhm.
Okay, next item is 2024-0398. We're going to have, that's going to be held in committee, Madam Clerk, as well? Held in committee?
Yes, we were just notified that the presenter is ill and unable to attend today's meeting.
Okay, okay. So the next item we're going to hear then is 2024-0422.
Resolution number 2024-0422, authorizing amendments to contracts with various providers for the Ohio Works First program.
Good afternoon, Marcos Cortez with Health and Human Services on behalf of Cuyahoga Jobs and Family Services. Again, this is an amendment to a master contract for the Ohio Works First program. The purpose of OWF program is to assist clients in attaining success by addressing barriers that may hinder clients from achieving self-sufficiency. The approach in services should be holistic, seeking to focus on addressing a broad range of needs at the individual and household level, including but not limited to full family assessment, job readiness, job training and education, and referral to social supports. We are exercising a second option year on our last option year of this contract. We will be issuing a new RFP in 2025 for services to begin in January 1st, 2026. I have Paul Bounds here from Cuyahoga Jobs and Family Services who can answer any programmatic related questions.
Well, I would like to hear from him.
Sure.
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you, Madam Chair?
Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Paul Bounds, Job and Family Services, Deputy Administrator. Thank you for allowing me to come in today. I appreciate it. The OWF contract allows us to meet the federal statutory regulation of providing work support assistance for OWF customers. And we utilize a model that allows for two providers to provide intensive case management, job training assistance, supportive services, and a whole litany of support services. Our model is a little different from other systems because we really look at developing an approach to provide support for the full family unit. So in addition to the individual whose work required, who's been referred to the provider, they also do an assessment of the family because we found in later research that the individual without the needed supports oftentimes fail at reaching those levels of self-sufficiency. So providing a different approach seemed to breed some pretty positive outcomes for us. This current program year, we have our providers placed about 459 customers in jobs. We've had 111 individuals who received certificates. And most importantly, there's one measure that the federal office has regarding work participation for OWF or TANF customers, and that is at least 50% of them must be involved in a recognized activity, and they must be meeting their required hours per month, 50%. The state of Ohio, the full rate is 33%. In Cuyahoga County, we're at 44%. So our model and the changes we've put in place, as well as our strong providers, Maximus and the Centers of Barrio, have really held a high standard for us and really helped individuals reach the self-sufficiency levels that we've been expecting.
So this is an extension of the contract?
That is correct, Madam Chair.
And then you'll go out, are these state contracts, or are there other, do we go out to bid, or is this assumed this is who we would get
We
for
do
this?
bid, correct.
Okay.
And these are pass-through dollars, so they are federal dollars through federal office that goes to the state of Ohio, which is awarded to the county. But yes, we do bid. And as Marcos pointed out, this is the final year of the current contract, so we'll be planning the RFP for next program year.
Okay, I don't have any, Councilwoman Conwell.
Through the chair to Mr. Bounds, are these any other changes with the contract whatsoever other than what you stated thus far today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and for these, I know it's been a couple years, but wasn't there some other providers in this contract pool, or in the past, has there been other providers?
We've held these two providers for a number of years. We've bid out in our previous model, we called it a Propel model, and the Centers and El Barrio, the Centers El Barrio, as well as Maximus were the providers then, and we RFP'd and made some adjustments to the model, and those two providers also applied and were awarded the contracts.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, without any more
Thank you.
questions. So wait, 12/31/25, what we can, wonder if we need a suspension?
You don't need
No,
we can go three,
it
four
would be the
readings.
second meeting, last meeting of the year.
December 2nd, yes.
Okay, I know. Okay, so can I have a motion to move this out of committee for second reading?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, so this moves forward. Lastly, we have, oh no, not lastly, 2024-0426, starting point.
Resolution number 2024-0426, authorizing a sole source contract with Child Care Resource Center of Cuyahoga County, doing business as Starting Point, in the amount not to exceed $1,650,000 for out-of-school time services for youth.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Kathleen Stewart from Family and Children First Council. I am here to discuss the Starting Point contract for out-of-school time services. We contract with Starting Point in the previous years for them to provide the management over our out-of-school time program. We help to pay for additional slots for any out-of-school time program throughout Cuyahoga County. The activities are held during after-school or during summer programs or possibly weekends. There are a wide variety of program types such as tutoring, educational enrichment, arts and culture exposure, recreation, career exploitation, and college readiness. There's also an extension evaluation component of the providers and the services that they provide throughout the Cuyahoga County. We did complete the sole source with Starting Point. As I've stated before, they have provided the management of the out-of-school time program for a number of years, I think dating back to maybe 2008, and when it was associated with MyCom. So we fund them for the out-of-school time programs, we pay for staff, we pay for the evaluation in conjunction with well, it used to be with the Cleveland Foundation when we were under the MyCom umbrella. I do have some statistics to share with you all. For the program, we have 2,767 youth that were served, which is an increase from last year. There have been over 6,621 youth and adults that attended one-time events throughout the whole year with 19 different agencies. Currently, right now, there are 57 agencies that work with Starting Point in 25 different neighborhoods where the services are provided for the youth ages kindergarten through 12th grade for the 22-23 school year. And we always get our data after the school year has finished. We have evaluation tools that are used. Two are from the White Cart Center, the Program Quality Assessment and the Youth Program Quality Assessment. I'm sorry, that was the same thing. The Youth Program Quality Improvement, and we also what's called a DAP, the Developmental Asset Profile, as well as satisfaction surveys. The program has approved every year that we've been involved with them, and this year has been no different. I don't have any other information, or we do have a report from Case, our evaluator from our office, if you would like to see that one as soon as it's done.
Okay, no questions. I just have a question on MyCom. So that was funded through the philanthropy, right, through the private sector that was funding that. And now you said we've shifted away entirely from using agent. How is this working? You said we're not using them.
No, so I misspoke. I apologize. So when we worked with MyCom, it was funded through county dollars in a public-private partnership.
Yeah, it was
with
both, right.
Both. So we just don't work as closely with MyCom as we did in previous years.
Okay, why not?
They had a shift in their management, so they wanted to go a different direction on how they did different things. So we weren't the intermediary anymore for the MyCom program. So we just pulled out. So, but we are involved with the out-of-school time program, and that's been probably about 8 years ago.
8?
Yes.
So yeah, I haven't heard about them. Are they? So we're just not the middle people, you said.
Exactly.
So they go
Exactly.
directly to the communities now
Yes.
instead of going through us.
Yes.
But we've continued on with the same level of service for the youth?
Yes.
Nothing
Yes.
shifted with us?
No. We fund a certain number of additional slots to the program. So they help pay for staff at Starting Point, but like we pay for like some of the fiscal people, and we pay for some of the evaluator that they have there, who does all the data collection.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Can I have a motion to move this for second reading?
So move for second reading?
Second? Who was that? Council President
I'll second.
Jones? Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, no one opposed. Thank you.
Great, thank you.
Okay, lastly, 2024-0427.
Resolution number, excuse me, resolution number 2024-0427, authorizing a master contract with various providers in a total amount not to exceed $700,000 for infant and early childhood mental health services.
Hi.
Shauna Rarman with the Office of Early Childhood and Invest in Children. As always, thank you for the opportunity to come before you today and your support of our work. This contract is new for us, and so the program is not, but the master contract is, so I want to provide a little bit of background. Invest in Children has funded the county's infant and early childhood mental health program since 2005, with agencies receiving those dollars to provide home and office-based infant early childhood mental health services to families with young children. Those services encompass a continuum of approaches to working with young children and their families, including promotion of healthy social and emotional development, prevention and early intervention of mental health difficulties, and treatment of mental health conditions among very young children in the context of their families, which often focuses on strengthening the relationship between the parent or caregiver and the child. This program has been co-funded by the Adams Board, will continue to be co-funded by the Adams Board, and until now they have served as the lead agency, holding contracts with those providers and doing the administrative work of running that program, including convening the providers, handling the billing, the reporting. Last year, Invest in Children and the Adams Board mutually agreed that the two entities would essentially swap roles, with each continuing to contribute equally to the program, but starting in January of 25, which is what this contract is, Invest in Children would take over the contracting with the agencies as well as the sort of like day-to-day administration of that program, and Adams would step more into a funder role, which is what we were. This is, like I said, a mutually agreed upon transition. So the contract before you today is the master agreement with the 7 agencies who are currently contracted with Adams to provide these services. These agencies were awarded contracts through a competitive RFP process at the Adams Board in 2021. Rather than this year doing an RFP and transitioning the contract, we decided to continue those contracts for 1 more year through the end of 25, and then we will hold an RFP next year, another competitive procurement for 26-27. So sort of getting us back onto a 2-year contract cycle with the providers. It's important for me to note that this is going to come to you in bits and pieces. So what we have today is Invest in Children's share of the dollars, $700,000. The total contract at the end of the day will be $1.4 million, assuming that all stages, everything's approved in the next stages. The Adams Board's $700,000 contribution has already been approved by their board, but we're working that through our county process now. So that will probably come to you in January. Once that's approved, we will put this contract up to amend to add those $700,000. We just don't have all of the things in place to be able to do it all at one time today. I will stop there and take any questions you may have.
Questions? Why did you do this swap?
The Adams Board has shifted the way that they do procurement. This was something that they brought to us last year because we wanted to continue doing the RFP process as we had been. And at that time, the conversation with them, they were exploring doing different ways of procuring contracts that they hold and distributing the money that they have. And so we agreed that if we wanted an RFP process to continue, that it made sense for those contracts to come to us. I will also say, I think it makes a lot of sense for those contracts to live at Invest in Children. We are already funding a number of related programs, which I would love to come back and sort of give you the whole scope of what that system looks like next year. So there's so many related pieces and parts, and a lot of the agencies on this contract are doing similar work on a different contract. So it makes sense on both sides for this to live with us. And we have assurance from the Adams, like they will continue to be a partner. So we did not want this to sort of like be pulled out of the broader mental health system. We don't want early childhood to sort of be put to the side. And so we've had that honest dialogue with the Adams Board partners that we work with to make sure that they stay involved in those conversations as the mental health board. So they're very interested in continuing to be a thought partner on the project, as we were when we were funders.
Okay, thank you. So there's no questions. I'm going to ask for a motion to move this out of committee to the next council meeting for second reading.
So move.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Okay, talk to you soon. All right, so that's all for today, and I don't know if we'll have another meeting. I'm assuming we will before the end of the year, but I wanted, I guess, to thank Councilman Tron for being part of this committee, I think from day one, right? I mean, you've been, it's a.
Education's always been part of my DNA, and so
DNA.
you've done a great job of running this committee, and
thank
I will be disappointed when I'm not able to participate with you on this.
I know this is raw, but I'm not sure, I'm going to have a meeting. So I just wanted to thank you for being a very active participant and passionate about the subject. And it's been really great to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
God bless you.
Thanks, Jack.
I'd just like to share that he was also on HHS for a short time, and he learned a lot. And just thankful for you. I'm sure we'll see you in the next couple of days. I miss you on HHS. You brought a lot of thought-provoking, and you were kind of like a backup in helping me with the administration on how to look at things differently and leverage our dollars and still get things done. So thank you very much.
And I thank you as well, Jack. You have been a friend. You've been a man of God, someone I've confided in. You have chaired our Economic Development Committee faithfully for many years, and should probably save it all because we're going to have to do this one more time. But again, I just thank you for your time here.
Yeah. Thanks, Jack.
All three of you.
Economic development.
Right.
This is part of the original.
Yeah, we're one of the four originals. Sans Gallagher, right? That's who else? Yeah. All right. Okay, with that, we're going to adjourn. Thanks.
You got your work cut off.
I wanted to say, son.